Kwe, welcome. Welcome. I think I have a microphone. Hi. Kwe, welcome to the Ottawa Riverkeeper annual public meeting. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here in the cocktail party part of the annual public meeting, so I'm glad you're joining us. Bienvenue à notre Assemblée publique annuelle. Ça fait plaisir de vous voir ici avec nous autres. On va attendre jusqu'à 6 heures quand j'espère qu'on a d'autres personnes qui nous joignent à ce temps-là. Mais si vous avez des questions maintenant, if you have any questions right now, burning questions for Ottawa Riverkeeper, please put them in the chat and we can chat. I think there's already a joke going around, so that's good to test out the chat feature. We really appreciate that. My name's Elizabeth Logue, and we are meeting here on the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. And hopefully you're out there on the watershed listening in and viewing in from your warm homes tonight. The snow is on the way, so just remember you don't need to put any salt on your driveway yet. Everything will be just fine. Take it easy on the salt. Go easy. We are meeting virtually this year, as you see. So usually we would all be gathering together in a big hall and, rubbing elbows and shaking hands. But here we are meeting virtually. So we're really happy that you could join us during our annual public meeting online. And we've got a jam-packed, really interesting evening for you. And not too long, actually, but a few videos that will give you a sense of what we've been up to this year and a feature presentation on an issue that seems to be top of mind for many people right now as we saw the heavy rains coming. And that's on the combined sewage overflows. So I think you stick around and you will hear more about that. And also, there's a chance tonight to win prizes because we're launching a few Ottawa Riverkeeper merch items tonight, and you'll have a chance to win one of those merch items if you engage with us on the chat. Really nice to see Matthew with us tonight, and Jared, who's been sharing some river-themed jokes, which I will take a look at later on this evening. And je suis vraiment ravie de vous voir. You can see me, and I will see you soon. So, welcome. So, if you have any questions, please do put them in the chat, and we can chat together. Oh. Kwe, welcome everyone, and you are at the Ottawa Riverkeeper annual public meeting. We're going to be starting very shortly. We are meeting virtually this year, as you know, on the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people, and we will be hearing soon from Verna McGregor, who is Anishinaabe Kwe from Kitigan-Zibi Anishinaabe First Nation, just north of Ottawa here, and so she will be welcoming us to this meeting and to the territory and has some teachings for us. So after Verna, we'll be back with a full agenda, but just full enough to keep us going, and for all you river lovers, a lot of information and updates ready for you this evening. So stay tuned. And if you have chats, please put them in the chat. If you have questions any time during the APM, you can put them in there, and we will have a Q&A right at the end of the meeting. But during the meeting, we'll also be taking a look at the chat, so please use the chat function. Chimigwech, see you soon.
Kwekakina. Hello, everybody. Bonjour tout le monde. Verna Nidishnikas, Kitagansi Binindonjaba, Wagashnido, Demashitshonim Kipenesi, the Noctanjamin and Dondanis Moshe Nongo Mame Kakina Pamadsijik. Hello, my name is Verna McGregor, and I'm from Kitagan Zibi Nishnabek, and I'd like to welcome you to our territory. I said Fox is my clan on my mother's side, and the Thunderbird, which is Onimki Penesi, is my clan on my father's side. Why do I say that, Dad? That was our original official introduction in the territories, because our clan system was based on the watersheds. And I do a lot of openings here in Ottawa. And I always say that the significance of Ottawa is that you have the confluence of the rivers coming together from the four directions, similar to the medicine wheel here. And there's many teachings to this. It includes the four races of the earth that were put here in the four seasons. You have the winter, spring, summer, fall. The four directions, north, east, southwest. But also your earth walk here, you come from spirit as an infant, adult, and you progress to becoming an elder and return back to spirit. So the center of the confluence represents balance. It represents balance also with the emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental. It's interesting that Parliament Hill has become at the center of this confluence here. So I look at that sometime and say, But anyway, so I welcome you here to our traditional unceded lands. Why do we say this? Is that we never signed treaty similar to the number treaties dealing with the land. And that goes back to the Royal Proclamation of 1763 with King George saying that any land development had to be done via treaty. For us too, we're known for the birch bark canoe. This was our method of travel. I get really cheeky and I said we travel carbon free. And I think as people, we need to go back to that, the way we're going. And before I say my opening prayer too as well, for us too, we see the rivers, we're the original river keepers really, but also that understanding that it is the veins of Mother Earth. That why we call Mother Earth is that she provides everything here and that she's a living entity. And the veins are the rivers and tributaries. So it was also interesting that with the dams being built, that it's like your body when you have like a clogged vein or artery. So it changes your whole ecosystem. It changes your system. So we need to become aware of that. And I think that's why we're coming together as Riverkeeper, or the role of the Riverkeeper is also the combining the science-based understanding, but also incorporating the Indigenous understanding to come together, because we all, again, as this medicine wheel, we all share this earth and we need to look after the earth for the next 7 generations. So on that note, I have a little virtual smudge here, and I'm going to relight it because it went out, because I talked too much. And the smudge is also, it's a connection from our physical to the unseen through the smoke. And I have a little tobacco here, which I'll put down afterwards. So in the days of COVID, I send you a virtual smudge, and I say a little prayer in Anishinaabe language to honor our ancestors whose lands we're meeting on today. So I say, Miigwech Kajimanido, Onjene Gashkito, Jimandose Konje Nongo Mame Bansanate Sechikan. Shuen Mishnonina, because Kim Kitabendan Kakina Guch Kim Kimojan Kakina. Miigwechonje yan in the Kiman Shkaki question castle. Miigwechonje Kakina Nibi Punksing, CB Saigon and Shitchka Chigagam. Miigwechonje na seven Kagimi Shen Chiminom Pamazian, Vidoko Gyakakina Mondege, Pamazjik Dashiakos, Chigmame, COVID-19 Jin Karte, Miigwechonje Ishkode, Kamikimi Shen Chimino Opchitoyon. Vidoko Gekwe Gonje Nagdoabdania Kakina Guchnibi. Ashich wido kogino agonje anagdo abranya kakina ishkode. Miigwechonje kakina nejino and dogak mam de geo and sizak. Mitigok, Missinisa, Mijashki, Mashkiki, Kakinaguch, Migwetonji, Negetels, a Jikashich, Kanchesquat, Negue Simin, Shikana, Nojos, Negue Simin, Schwemish, no Ninavigus, Mia, Migwech, 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 Migwech. And in a nutshell, what I said is thank you for Creator for allowing us to come together here, and thank you for all of creation. And I thank the four elements, which again, it represents, thank you for the earth and all that she provides you to have a good life. Thank you for the waters. Thank you for the fire. Thank you for the air. and all our ancestors, including all the animals, the plant life, even the insects. One of the things I say too as well is that women are keepers of the water and men are keepers of the fire in our understanding. And that we ask for your guidance as we come together here, and we don't ask things in vain. And we always remember also too as well that it's also Creator and Spirit that's in charge, that guides us as well. So on that note, I wish you a good meeting, and I say, Miigwech. That's your learning word, folks, for today. Remember that. Miigwech means thank you, merci. Have a great evening. Miigwech.
Kwe, Chimigwich, Verna, thank you so much for starting us off tonight in a good way at the confluence, this virtual confluence that we're in right now, online together for the Ottawa Riverkeeper annual public meeting. So Chimigwich to Verna for starting us off, and welcome everybody to our annual public meeting. Here we are, all together and yet apart, which seems to be the theme for this year. We're so glad, on est ravis que vous soyez avec nous ce soir pour notre réunion annuelle publique. Et puis, pour commencer, to start, we would like to say a big thank you to Dentons Canada, who've helped to support this event. It's thanks to their support that we're able to meet with you virtually tonight, and that we're streaming tonight thanks to Dentons. So thank you once again to Dentons. Alors, notre assemblée est un peu différente cette année, mais on a plein de choses à vous partager avec vous, plein de projets pour en parler avec vous, et puis aussi, on est vraiment excités d'être ici avec vous aussi pour partager. Alors, si vous avez des commentaires, s'il vous plaît, utilisez le chat. If you have comments anytime during the evening, please do use the chat. So there will also be an opportunity at the end of the evening to have an informal Q&A with our staff and other presenters that you hear and see tonight. So please do stick around. There'll be a Q&A session. À la fin de la soirée, on va avoir des questions-réponses dans des sessions séparées. Alors, s'il vous plaît, restez avec nous autres. Additionally, at a certain point in the evening, I will be talking about the opportunity for all of you to win prizes. So that's our little teaser to say we have some new, very fresh, newly released Ottawa Riverkeeper swag and merch. So tonight you'll have an opportunity to be the first ones to win one of those items from our Ottawa Riverkeeper boutique. So stay tuned for that. But first and foremost, pour commencer la soirée, on va jeter un coup d'œil rapide sur les projets sur lesquels nous avons travaillé cette année. Cette année, notre rapport va être dans la forme d'un vidéo. Alors, notre rapport annuel par vidéo, on va vous partager avec ça. On va partager ça avec vous ce soir. Et puis, on est vraiment excités de partager ça. Mais aussi, il va y avoir une version en ligne après, à la fin de la soirée. Vous pouvez aussi voir le rapport annuel Ottawa Riverkeeper sur notre site web. So tonight, we are going to be showing the video annual report to you, and this is our first foray into a video annual report, so we're really excited to be sharing that with you. So let's take a look. Hope you enjoy it. "2020 has been a challenging year for many throughout the watershed and around the world, but I'm happy to report that at Ottawa Riverkeeper, our work has continued unabated. We continue to work to promote and protect the ecological health of the Ottawa River watershed. And we do this through many initiatives. Let's take a look at some of them now.
This year, we launched the incredibly ambitious Watershed Health Assessment and Monitoring Initiative. Thanks to the support from funders like Environment and Climate Change Canada, RBC Foundation, Echo Foundation, Evolution, and Mosaic. This long-term project will generate new data on 14 indicators for watershed health. Many of you are already helping out by sending in data to our community-based monitoring initiatives, and we welcome more of you to do so. Speaking of getting directly involved in monitoring the river, this year we welcomed our 100th member to the Riverwatch Network. These dedicated volunteers are our eyes and ears across the watershed, and the network keeps getting stronger.
Cette année a été une année formidable pour notre programme de jeunes leaders d'eau, maintenant dans la 3e cohorte. Les jeunes ont appris beaucoup à propos du bassin versant en ligne, mais ils ont aussi réussi à se réunir en personne pour des aventures incroyables sur la rivière. Mais ce n'est pas juste le fun pour les jeunes leaders d'eau. Ils continuent à travailler sur le projet de service et de trouver des idées innovatives pour aider la rivière.
Cette année, nous avons continué à diffuser le message sur les façons que vous pouvez contribuer à la protection des espèces menacées. Notamment, on a mis l'accent sur l'Obovarie olivate, une espèce de mule dodu dont la plus grande population vit ici dans notre bassin versant. Grâce au soutien du MPO, du Musée canadien de la nature, du Cabela's Canada Outdoor Funds et de la Fondation McLean, nous avons organisé plusieurs webinaires sur l'Obovarie et l'espèce menacée sur laquelle elle dépend, l'esturgeon jaune. Plus que 200 d'entre vous ont suivi ces événements pour en apprendre davantage sur ces espèces étonnantes et les façons que vous pouvez aider pour les protéger.
This year, we found new and innovative ways to connect with you and celebrate the river. Did you catch our Tap Water Challenge earlier this year on Twitter? Many of you sent in hilarious videos of you drinking the delicious tap water and celebrating the use of this incredible resource. Also, did you complete all the activities and take part in our first ever beach pass and win a prize? Many of you sent in beautiful photos from throughout the watershed featuring people enjoying beaches and rivers and lakes. Thank you for participating. Finally, many of you went above and beyond and volunteered your time to protect the river. You participated in water quality testing, community-based monitoring, data management, and shoreline cleanups. Thank you, Miigwech.
And speaking of you, our supporters, we delivered a unique spin on the Ottawa Riverkeeper Annual Gala in 2020, providing guests with a gala-in-a-box package, an inspiration for how to enjoy and protect our river. Hundreds of you enjoyed the amazing meal from Time and Again, as well as other goodies, delivered right to your door, courtesy of our presenting sponsor, the Insurance Bureau of Canada, as well as other sponsors like CN, RBC, and many more. As part of the lead-up to the event, we also recognized our latest honorary riverkeepers, the Right Honourable David Johnston and Mrs. Sharon Johnston. Thanks to all of you, we raised over $260,000 at this year's annual gala.
Justement, en parlant de finances, pour l'année fiscale qui s'est terminée au 31 mars 2020, soit quelques semaines seulement après le début de la pandémie, on peut quand même dire qu'on a eu une très bonne année à Garde-rivière. Donc, on a touché à des revenus d'environ 1 450 000 en provenance de diverses sources. Donc, on parle d'entreprises, on parle de commanditaires, de nombreux paliers de gouvernement, principalement du gouvernement fédéral cette année, et puis bien sûr des donateurs et des donatrices individuelles par centaines, comme vous et comme moi. Je peux vous dire qu'on est fiers d'avoir une très bonne diversité en termes de sources de financement. Ça nous permet d'avoir des fondations solides pour mieux affronter le genre de crise qu'on connaît depuis les derniers mois. Qu'est-ce qu'on fait avec ce revenu-là? Eh bien, évidemment, tous les programmes et les initiatives dont vous avez entendu parler, qui sont menés d'ailleurs par une équipe du tonnerre, une équipe super dynamique dont je suis très fier, d'une quinzaine d'employés. On a la chance d'être encadré par un excellent conseil d'administration. Et puis là-dessus, je tiens à remercier nos administratrices sortantes cette année, soit Fiona McKean, Alexandra McGee et puis Céline White-Duck. Et j'en profite pour accueillir les nouvelles, soit Colleen Mooney, Naomi Sarrazin, Margot Sunter et puis la sénatrice Rosa Galvez. Donc ça nous fait une excellente, une grande famille d'amoureux et d'amoureuses de la rivière. comme vous. Et puis j'en profite pour vous remercier énormément de votre soutien cette année et puis j'espère vous voir sur la rivière très bientôt. Merci.
Wow! Wow! Un grand merci à toute l'équipe de Garde-rivière des Outaouais qui a rendu possible le travail que tu viens juste de voir sur la vidéo. La version complète du rapport, comme j'ai mentionné, va être sur notre site web à la fin de la soirée. Alors, prenez-en un regard ce soir. Donc, on continue avec l'agenda pour ce soir. Chaque année, nous aimons reconnaître les personnes qui ont fait des choses étonnantes pour le bassin versant et pour la rivière. La prochaine vidéo que vous allez voir présente les lauréats de notre prix Water Leaders Award pour l'année 2020. Ils ont été parmi les meilleurs à regarder au-delà des frontières provinciales pour rassembler les communautés autour de la rivière et à chercher des moyens pour que cette coopération puisse contribuer à maintenir la santé de notre bassin versant. Alors, on va voir une vidéo de le Water Leaders Award.
Partnering with Argenté, Papineau, and Prescott Russell to protect our Ottawa River, the Great Kitchissippi-Ottawa River, is something we're very proud to be working on. It's about connecting communities across different parts of the watershed to look at the health of the river and learn about how they can make a difference. Tisser des liens d'un côté à l'autre de cette magnifique rivière, c'est central à la Pacte de l'amitié. C'est pas seulement durant des périodes de crise, comme les inondations qu'on a vues ces années précédentes, qu'il faut se rassembler pour protéger ce qu'on aime. Et c'est ça que le Pacte de l'amitié reconnaît et ils vont travailler dessus. D'après un sondage récent, 93 % des gens croient que le gouvernement doit investir plus pour protéger la rivière des Outaouais. That's why Pacte de l'Amitié partners have come together. They've listened to their constituents, and this is an extraordinary chance to make a difference to protect this incredible source of life, this incredible resource, the Ottawa River.
We are so pleased to present the Pacte de l'Amitié with our Water Leader Award in 2020.
It's an honor for us to receive this prize, and I think it's a really prestigious prize. And I believe last year was our neighbor from Ottawa, Mayor Jim Watson, that did receive the prize. So we feel like there's a continuity. You know, it's coming in on the eastern part of the river. So, and I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Ottawa Riverkeeper for being the organization that does protect and promote the Ottawa River. We'd like to thank you very much for that.
Je tiens à remercier, à dire merci à l'organisation Garde-rivière pour la remise du prix. On est extrêmement heureux. Moi, personnellement, je suis extrêmement heureux. Puis ça va me faire plaisir de le partager avec l'ensemble des citoyens de la MRC de Papineau. L'honneur qu'on vient de recevoir de la part de Garde-rivière. On en suis fiers, puis je les remercie grandement.
Prescott Russell, Papineau et nous de travailler ensemble. Bien ça, évidemment, on est extrêmement fiers, puis on apprécie beaucoup. Je pense que ça nous donne l'énergie de continuer, d'aller même plus loin, parce que quand tu reçois des prix de même, c'est un signe de respect pour le travail fait. Puis souvent, quand tu as ce signe de respect, ça vous donne le courage et l'énergie d'aller encore plus loin, de travailler encore plus fort. Alors, ça vient de vous autres aussi, regarde, merci beaucoup.
Félicitations à Pacte de l'Amitié. Congratulations to Pacte de l'Amitié for winning the Water Leader Award this year. It was so amazing to see the kind of cross-boundary collaboration that can happen and that's going on as part of Pacte de l'Amitié. As I always like to say, and we like to say at Ottawa Riverkeeper, the river doesn't care about borders. So we need to work on both sides of the river and throughout the whole watershed to ensure that it's swimmable, drinkable, and fishable for all generations. So congratulations again to Pacte de l'Amitié. Lots of you out there are working alongside us in that mission to keep the watershed clean and healthy. You're giving of your time and energy towards all of the projects that we saw tonight in the video and more. We've seen so many of you working hard, both as volunteers for us or under your own initiative and bringing forward ideas, and all dedicated to the protection and preservation of this incredible watershed. Thank you to everybody. But we do want to thank some people in particular. And tonight, we'd like to take the opportunity to recognize 2 individuals who have really stood out this year. First up is the winner of our Volunteer of the Year award. This award is named after Dan Brunton, one of our founding members. And this year, the award goes to, drum roll, Carrie Reimer. Thank you so much, Carrie Reimer. This award for Volunteer of the Year goes out to you, Carrie. Thank you for all your work on data input and helping out with all of our work on philanthropy and fundraising. Chimigwich, thank you so much. We have another award to give out this evening, and that is the second award, which is the award for Community Impact. Every year, this Community Impact Award goes out to someone who has worked to further the interests of our river in their own community as part of our programs or with their own idea, partnering with another group. This year, we are presenting the award to Howard Powells for his work in this community in coordinating with a group to protect La Forêt des Chênes on the Quebec side of the river. Again, a big round of applause for Howard Powells and the work on the Forêt des Chênes. Yay, everybody. Thank you so much to all our volunteers. We're very appreciative of all the work that you put in for shoreline cleanups and all of the work that you dedicate for Ottawa Riverkeeper to ensure that our vision and mission is accomplished. Chimigwich. So, now, we did tell you at the top of the meeting that we were going to give you an opportunity to win some cool river-related swag or merchandise, and now is the time. Now is the time. We are so pleased to announce that starting today, as we've been doing these crossbow draw paddling and trying to pivot during this crazy time, we are launching tonight our ottawariverkeeper.ca/shop, where you can get some Ottawa Riverkeeper merch. Alors, à partir d'aujourd'hui, vous pouvez aller à Garde-rivière des Outaouais.ca/boutique pour acheter des produits frais, pour montrer votre amour pour la rivière ou pour donner à votre amour, pour démontrer ton amour de la rivière. Alors, ce soir, on va donner des prix. Je vais regarder dans le chat bientôt pour voir, je vais nommer des personnes pour voir qui va gagner un prix ce soir. So don't click or buy on the shop just yet, because if you're interested in one of the items that we have for sale that I'm about to describe to you, let us know in the chat, and we're going to pick a few names tonight and give away some free swag. First up, we have the beautiful Ottawa Riverkeeper Le Creek Chic hat, which you can see here. It's pretty awesome, and it's good for vitamin D protection while you're out on the river. The Ottawa Riverkeeper hat is available. Le chapeau que je viens juste de démontrer est disponible sur la boutique, mais aussi, cette année, on a produit un calendrier. The Ottawa Riverkeeper River Watchers calendar is now available on our shop, and it features beautiful photos of river watchers doing their work or relaxing by the river, beautiful photos by Martin Lippman, and it's available on the website as well. Alors, vous pouvez acheter le calendrier sur la boutique aussi. C'est vraiment, je vais juste vous démontrer des photos qui sont vraiment belles. Celui-là, c'est de Raymond Touchette. Alors, il y a une petite description où sur le bassin versant où est-ce que Raymond habite et où est-ce qu'il travaille, mais aussi un petit peu à propos de leur passion pourquoi il fait le travail avec nous à Garde-rivière des Outaouais. On a aussi des cartes disponibles. We also have the watershed maps available. And I know this is a hot item because as we've been out there working in communities and with many of you, you've asked for a copy of the map. Well, we have printed a whole bunch for you and they are going to be available online at the boutique as well. So the map, the hat, the calendar, c'est tout sur la boutique. Vous pouvez acheter ça, mais je vais regarder dans le chat maintenant pour choisir 3 gagnants pour les prix. Je vais fermer mes yeux puis je vais choisir 3 personnes. Je vois ici Jeffrey Hamilton. You get a hat tonight. Excellent. I'm going to write this down. And another random one, Jared. Jared, you can have a map tonight. Good job. Good job. A map. Oh, there you go. You needed a map. You've got it. And one last one oh my God, a calendar for Kim. Kim, you get a calendar. All right. Thank you, Chimigwech. Thank you. Merci for playing along. We know that these virtual sessions can be long, and hopefully you have your dinner in front of you or a cool drink or a hot beverage to keep warm. And now some of you have prizes, but please do check out our website for the merchandise. Alors, un grand merci, un grand félicitations à tous les gagnants et un grand merci encore à l'équipe à Garde-rivière des Outaouais. Big thank you to the team at Ottawa Riverkeeper for putting together this merch for you and all ready for our APM tonight. So, now, as I mentioned at the top of the show, this virtual APM is only possible thanks to the support of Dentons Canada. And so here I'm going to pass along a video message from Mr. Dave Little.
Greetings, everybody. I'm David Little, Managing Partner of the Ottawa Office of Dentons. We have been enthusiastic supporters of the work of Ottawa Riverkeeper for several years, sponsoring events like the annual gala and annual public meetings, such as the one you are currently watching. As an international law firm with offices across Canada and in more than 70 other countries around the world, part of Dentons' mission is to actively support the community and environments in which we all live and help protect them, now and for the future. A healthy watershed is important for all who live within it, and we embrace Ottawa Riverkeeper's mission to protect our river. Whether it is through the health assessment of the watershed, pollution monitoring, engaging with use, and otherwise educating all of us about the importance of the ecological health and future of the river and how much we rely on it, whether we always know it or not, partnering with Indigenous and other communities to co-design projects and understand local issues related to the watershed, or simply helping us determine where it is safe to swim or fish, Ottawa Riverkeeper does it all while providing us with a strong voice to protect this vital resource. Great work. Dentons is happy to continue our support of Ottawa Riverkeeper in 2020, and thanks to all of you for doing the same. For now, we look forward to seeing you on the river and at future Ottawa Riverkeeper events. All the best, and please stay healthy and safe.
Thanks, David. We really appreciate Denton's support for our meeting tonight, and this year as well. You know, things are in such flux, and so this virtual meeting, as I mentioned at the top of the event, that we're at the virtual confluence, as we heard from Verna McGregor. We're all at this confluence, and a big thank you to Dentons for supporting our APM tonight. Chimigwech. So, earlier this year, I think many of you may have seen that we teamed up with Abacus Data, a polling firm, who did a survey of residents living on or by the river. Maybe you saw some of these results when we published them earlier this year. If you want to read the full report, you can find it on our website, and there's some super interesting information in there about how people feel about the river. The short answer, if you don't have time to check it out right now, the short answer is they love it. They love the river. And we saw this again and again, that people care about the Ottawa River and the watershed. And we don't need empirical data to show this to us, because we're out there in the community and we see it on your faces and we hear it through your emails and the phone calls that come into our pollution hotline even. You love this watershed. But there was another theme that did emerge during this, the results from the Abacus survey, and that was that people were concerned about threats to the river. So are we, especially with how clean the river is. And that is why Ottawa Riverkeeper exists. We're here to help protect the river and promote the ecological health of the Ottawa River watershed. But we want people to enjoy the river as well. And we don't want this fear to prevent them from going in the river and lessening their love for the river that we all know that you love. So tonight, we thought we would delve a little bit further into the recent successes that we saw in the protection of our river and the watershed. And what I'm talking about is the recent opening of the CSST. That is the Combined Sewage Storage Tunnel in Ottawa. Now, you may have heard about it. It had the official opening just over a week ago, and Ottawa Riverkeeper was on the scene. This project has been a long time coming, and something that we've been championing for a very long time through the Ottawa River Action Plan. We would like to think that we had a little bit of influence on getting this project into fruition. But what truly made this project possible was the cooperation between municipal, federal, and provincial governments. And the recent success will greatly reduce the number of combined sewage overflows from the city of Ottawa into the Ottawa River. And we want to celebrate that. Concern about sewage in the river was the #1 reason that people were avoiding swimming in the river this summer, that came out of the Abacus survey that I just mentioned. So let's take a look at that concern. Let's at least see how it relates to the CSOs coming from the city of Ottawa. So right now, I'd like to turn your video attention over to Miss Hasnaa Zaknoun, who's really a CSO superhero, the superhero of the CSST. She is the wastewater collection manager at the City of Ottawa, and she's going to tell us more about what the CSST will achieve. And this is a presentation that we recorded soon after the opening just last week. Alors, la présentation va être en anglais, mais à la fin de la soirée, vous pouvez demander des questions en français. Here's Hasnaa.
Hi, my name is Hasnaa Zaknoun. I am a wastewater collection manager with the City of Ottawa. Today, I'm happy to present you the CSST tunnel. And I would like to acknowledge and thank the Ottawa Riverkeeper for giving me this opportunity. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge the efforts of the federal and provincial governments for prioritizing infrastructures such as this one. Before I start, I would like to discuss a little bit some of the objectives and the benefits of the CSST. The very obvious one is to reduce the volume of the combined sewage overflow to the Ottawa River, which is the actual volume that will be storing combined sewage overflow would be about 43,000 cubic meters, which is equivalent to about 18 Olympic-sized swimming pools, to give you an idea of how big it is. Also, the CSST will be able to reduce the frequency of overflow events from the average average wet year. It would be reducing the overflows from about 28 down to 2. And I will be touching base about this particular topic later on the presentation. One of the objectives of the CSST is also to reduce risk of basement flooding. As part of the CSST tunnel, around 7,000 residences were impacted by reducing the risk of flooding of their basement, mainly in the Glebe and Centertown areas. The CSST will also be increasing the operational flexibility of the main sewer called the IOS, running through downtown, basically, and carrying sewage down to ROPEC for treatment. So basically, it will increase the operational flexibility by providing redundancy to that main sewer to allow the flow to be diverted to the CSST while we're carrying out inspections or critical maintenance to increase the reliability of the existing system. And I would like to also mention that the CSST tunnel is a fully automated system. It is currently operating with very little human intervention. Some quick facts about CSST. There are 2 interconnected storage tunnels, 5 drop structures to allow us to perform regular maintenance, inspections, etc. There are 6 flow diversion chambers, and those chambers are mainly used to move from one mode to the other. For example, if the CSST is full and needs to be emptied, we need a diversion chamber to be able to do that. 4 odor control facilities. So the odor control facilities usually turn on automatically when the CSST is in operation. The tunnel itself is a 3-meter diameter and with a capacity of 43,000 cubic meters of storage volume. Just to put things in perspective, gives you an interesting fact. If we were to put the volume of the CSST in Coke cans and put these end to end, they would go around the world 1.17 times. So this slide shows the map of the CSST. It is composed of an east-west tunnel starting from Le Breton Flats at Site 1 and going all the way down to Stanley Park at Site 5. Site 5 is the main outlet of the CSST back to our sewer system that will be then carried towards the wastewater treatment plant at ROPEC. The north-south tunnel is starting just south of the Queensway and ending at Site 6, which is the main overflow of the CSST just behind Supreme Court. This graph shows the CSO and population over time. The blue line shows the population over time from 1962 up to this year. And the yellow bars are representing the actual volume of CSO per cubic meters. As you can see, over the years, as the population continued to grow up to today, and I think we've reached a million inhabitants in Ottawa recently, as you can see, the actual volume of CSO has continued to be reduced over time. Reducing pollution in the river is new to us. It started in the early 60s, and for the River even earlier. Here in Ottawa, like everywhere else in the world, the last cubic meter of CSO remove is always harder to remove than the previous one. It makes sense. Getting the low-hanging fruit is pragmatic. Now in Ottawa, it's only the very highest fruit that remains. Those are the ones that we're targeting with the CSST. So these 2 years are showing basically what it looks like if we had the CSST tunnel. This graph shows the frequency of rainstorms that caused CSOs, starting from 2006 all the way down to 2019. And the graph shows the fraction of rainstorms that cause CSOs. And the reporting period for these storm events is from April 15 to November 15. So as you can see, continuously since 2006, this line has been drastically dropping. The 2007 reduction was due to some separation that happened back then. In around 2009, 2010, the RTC system took place and produced basically this big drop down, and then back in 2013, further sewer separation happened in the Rockcliffe Park mainly. And basically our goal is to strive to continue to make this graph go down even further. We're expecting that with the CSST, we're going to see unprecedented numbers as part of this graph. Probably next time we talk about it. And here I have a little animation just to explain how the CSST system works, very high level, obviously. So as you can see here, this is mainly the combined sewer area where basically the storm system from the catch basins and the sewer system from the houses are combined into one. This is the main sewer that I was mentioning earlier that runs through downtown that carries all the sewage back to Ropeck. And basically when we have a major rain event, in the combined sewers, the sanitary and the storm sewers are combined into one, and they all have to be captured by this interceptor. Now, when the interceptor is at capacity, there's no more space for it to accept any more flow. So we have regulators that basically allow whatever is over top to overflow to the Ottawa River. Now, we have the ability to use the storage tunnel. So with the storage tunnel, when there's a heavy rainfall, what happens is instead of the overflow going to the river, now it's filling the tunnel and using it to the fullest capacity. And following the rainfall, when the system is back to normal operation and the sewer levels are down, now we can actually start emptying the tunnel. And as you can see here, it's all automated operation with a system of gates that are all controlled by level transmitters with very little human intervention. So once the tunnel is empties again, obviously we have to empty it at a slow rate so we don't overwhelm the system. And now it's ready for the next rainfall. This graph is really interesting. It shows basically the number of overflows during the swimming season from sites that are connected to the CSST. So the swimming season is defined as from June 1st to September 30th. And the red lines or red graphs are showing actual overflows. So the number of overflows, for example, in 2010 is 32. The blue bars are showing, have we had the CSST tunnel back in those days, what it would look like, or what would the impact would look like. So for example, in 2010, have we had the CSST tunnel, we would have had 32 events. We would have had 3 events instead of 32, and so on. And then you can also see here that some years we would have had 0. And we will probably see a lot of zeros moving forward. But again, keep in mind, this is for the area, the zone of influence of the CSST. And we're not talking about all of the CSOs as, you know, in the whole city. And I would like to finish my presentation with by discussing some limitations and next steps of the CSST. As I mentioned earlier, the storage volume is 43,000 cubic meters, but all the storm, once that 43,000 cubic meters is full, and we are still in the middle of a rain event and there's still inflow coming to the system, whatever is over top of that is going to produce a CSO overflow to the river. For very large storm events, like I said, whatever capacity is that we have available, including the CSST, is all going to be used to its fullest, and whatever is over top of that will have to be discharged to the river. The CSOs are not the only cause for beach closure. It's important to understand this part, because as of now, the P3 beaches are the only beaches that are downstream of the CSO discharge locations, but they don't close more often than our other beaches. Stormwater is a major source of pathogen at all beaches. Geese and gulls are also an issue whenever a beach closes when it hasn't rained in a while. They are the mostly cause of beach closures. Managing back-to-back storms, as you can imagine, if the tunnel is full because of a previous rainfall, and we get hit by another rainfall right after that, our storage is already full. Whatever overflow happens from that event is going to have to be discharged to the Ottawa River. And it's also important to mention that the CSST will have no impact on river flooding, such as what we have experienced in spring 2019. And I would like to finish by saying that we will strive to continue to optimize the operation of the CSST, and we have allowed up to a year to use the CSST to its full potential. As you can imagine, it's a very complex system, which requires a lot of skills to be developed by our operators, but we have all the confidence in the world that we will get there within a year. And I would like to finish by saying we too swim, drink, and fish at the Ottawa River. Should you have any questions, I'm sure there will be someone at the end of the session to answer those questions. And you're also welcome to send me an email after the session. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you to Hasnaa and the CSST team. Hasnaa will be around for Q&A at the end of our event, which is coming soon. But before we go to our Q&A sessions, I just wanted to mention, if you do live outside of the Ottawa area and you want to work on the CSO issue, you'll see in the chat, Alejandro, our community outreach manager, has shared the link to our CSO toolkit that Ottawa Riverkeeper has worked with the City of Ottawa, using the City of Ottawa as a case study to develop this toolkit for community action. So if you go to our website, you can take a look at that toolkit and see how maybe you could work on combined sewage overflows in your particular community or area of the Ottawa River watershed. Alors, on arrive bientôt à la fin de notre événement, mais avant de vous quitter et d'aller aux questions-réponses, notre session à la fin, je voulais juste mentionner, si vous êtes à dehors de la ville d'Ottawa, vous pouvez travailler sur les plateformes, si vous allez à notre site web. Alors, sur le site web, il y a un document, un toolkit que vous pouvez regarder si vous voulez travailler sur ce projet dans votre communauté. Mais aussi, je voulais mentionner nos comptes sur les médias sociaux. Alors, on est sur toutes les plateformes et juste maintenant, on est presque à 10 000 amis sur Facebook. Alors, si vous donnez un thumbs up sur Facebook, we're almost at 10,000 likes on Facebook. So if you give us a like on Facebook, we will get to that 10,000 mark and share it with your friends. And we will have to have goals at this time, and that is one of our goals, is to get to the 10,000 friends mark on Facebook, to really share the message of how you can take part and be a part of helping to keep the Ottawa River watershed clean and healthy. And also you can subscribe to our newsletter. So if you go to our website, you can find out more of how to subscribe to our newsletter at ottawariverkeeper.ca. And finally, I did want to mention that today is Giving Tuesday. And so it's a day where people around the world like to give to causes that they believe in and care about. And so just to let you know that your donation, as you saw tonight, will go towards all of the great projects that we're working on across the watershed, water quality, and all the indicators that Larissa Holman mentioned about the Watershed Health Assessment and Monitoring, our WHAM project. All of your help goes to make sure that we can do the work that we need to do. And I wanted to let you in on a little tradition we have at Ottawa Riverkeeper, started by Naomi Sarrazin, and that is to make a moose call. Whenever we get funding coming in. So, we like to hear that moose call. It's hard because we're not all in the office right now, but we like to hear the moose call because that means we have funding coming in to help us do our work. So please do support us and share it with others. Alors, at this point, I'd like to say Kitchi Miigwech for being with us. We are going to soon go off to our Q&A session. Alors, encore une fois, si vous aimez la rivière, si vous vraiment croyez dans le travail qu'on fait ici à Garde-rivière des Outaouais, vous pouvez donner de votre temps, vous pouvez donner de l'argent. On va prendre tout. On aime l'amour pour la rivière, on aime ça. Alors, un grand merci à tout le monde. Again, we will be sticking around for the Q&A session. I'll be here with Stewie the Sturgeon and others, other members of the Ottawa Riverkeeper team will be joining in. And so please do stick around for what we're calling the after party, the Q&A sessions, so you can ask some questions to the Ottawa Riverkeeper team. Thank you once again to Dentons and to all of you and to Verna McGregor for starting us off this evening on the unceded, unsurrendered territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe. Thank you so much, Miigwech, and see you soon out on the river.